Hi, this is Joyce Meyer, Junk Journals. Today is the last day of February, and I've been thinking I've got to get my winter themed journal recorded today and up on YouTube. So that's what I'm doing. This is a large, chunky journal, and I don't know if you can tell by the front cover, there's a lot of sparkle, and you'll see a lot of sparkle inside as well. And so I wanted to represent what winter has been like in Ohio. We've had a lot of snow, and we've had some ice and very cold temperatures. And then it would go away for only a couple days. We had more snow. It was beautiful. I live in the woods, and the trees and the hillside were just blanketed in snow, and it just looked so fresh and pretty. But at the same time, cold is cold, you know, and so our heat went out on our furnace, and it was very cold in the house. So if you don't have winter, maybe I can just give you a feel of what it's like, because this is what I wanted to do with this journal, is just kind of use those really steely, silvery colors, and then at the same time use ribbons that I have found that have a lot of fur to them. And I used thick ribbons and things like that, and a lot of yarns and stuff like that. So I'm going to start showing you this book. It has quite a luscious tassel. It's full of everything that reminds me of winter. It has all the hues of blue, and it has some green to go with the cover. And also, you've got to remember, when we come out of winter, we go into spring. So it's got a little hope in there. For the green represents the spring is coming. And I have some icicles here. I found that this ribbon curled perfectly. It came this way. I found it while I was thrifting. And so then I can take this tassel off. It's on a vintage bull clip, so it can be removed. And it has all kinds of fibers throughout. And it's been fun putting together. I added lace, and I found some very fun pieces of trim, like this beautiful blue, like lacy looking. But throughout, you'll just see there's ribbon, and there's even like a chenille ribbon, one of my favorites, and rickrack and everything. Big piece of yarn. So that comes off. And then we can start to flip through here. Get in frame here. So I just really, I slow stitched on the front for the first time. This was an envelope that I received some things from Amazon, and it's got a crunchy sound to it, so that's why I picked it. And then here's that ribbon that I was talking about, some very, very thick ones. It looks like a cable knit sweater. It's really pretty. And then I just simply put eyelets here to run this fabric that I tore strips of. And there's Tim Holtz corners for the ends. I thought that would sturdy it up a little bit. And I did that on the front and the back cover. But this is a very chunky journal. As you can see, it has a whole lot of stuff going on. But that's the fun of it. And there are charms hanging here and there and everywhere. But so I'll open it up and get started. Like I said, it's chunky, and there's a lot of bling, a lot of sparkle to it, because it's what reminds me of how I think of winter and the ice and all. Okay, so I have vintage ephemera in here. Sometimes you'll see pieces. This is one. It has extra buttons written on it, and inside there are little buttons just to play with, or I can actually use them in the journal. Here's another envelope with a piece of yarn wrapped around it, and this one holds little reminders for me of what digitals I use throughout the book. And I will list those below in the description box so that you know what I used instead of telling you as I go. I did go to a shop for thrifters to recycle their items, and they sell things by the pound, and that's where I got this pretty paper. And it's, if you see it reflecting, it's reminding me of that cold part, like the icy weather. And I just took this tag. I used some doily there, some embossed paper that I bought already with the embossing done to it. And then these 3 tags, I used the raffia ribbons, and they have like that nice sound to them. And the backs, this is a digital, so I have the backs of the tags can be written on. And those can go right back in there. And there's a verse on the other side. Out of the south cometh the whirlwind, and cold out of the north. By the breath of God the frost is given, and the breath of the waters is straightened. Job 37, 9-10. And this trim and that fabric all go perfectly. There's a snowflake holding this piece of stationery. That's a digital as well. A lot of writing space in this journal. There's a whole lot of room to put other things. So then this says frost, and there's a snowflake with some lace at the top. And I just took a doily, used some distress ink to bring out the design. But this whole thing is writable, this whole surface, and some tinsel trim. These little tags are similar to the ones I just showed you, only I used a brad to put these together. And then these remind me of icicles. These are just little tags. Here's a recipe card. You remember these? These are vintage. They came in a big box, and I happened to find this really cute one that worked with the colors that I have going on. Snow on the Mountain is the name, because you're going to be like in this journal, we're like in the woods, okay? Because I live in the woods. And it just inspired me to kind of bring in the elements of the trees and the snow and the warmth of the house being there. And there's a tag. I held it in place with this little clothespin. I like this tag. It has some sound to it. It's crunchy noise. Sounds like ice breaking to me. And then here's a embossed piece of chipboard. This is just in the collection that I have. I don't know where I got it, probably the thrift store, but I used some gesso on the, dry brushed it on top, and then added a little white paint too, just enough. And then here is a punch out of a snowflake and a little charm. This was a book page that I used some metallic paint, and I stamped winter. So, and here's just some trims going around to complement the ribbon with the snowflakes. Ribbons were used a lot in this book. Here's another ribbon, believe it or not. And then this was a piece of wrapping paper, I think. And I backed it with that. It's pretty. A lot of times I use gift bags too. I like that staple. It happens to look like a snowflake. I don't know if, can you tell that right there, that design? It's cool. And then this was from a magazine. It had the buttons, and I use buttons in almost every journal. Here's just a bow. And then I just dressed up this index card and decorated it a little bit with some washi tape. I've got to have joy in my journal, so there it is. Tuck it there. Here's a vintage card that is mother of pearl buttons. They're all different, just like how snowflakes all kind of different. That says 10 cents, Roman's department store. Okay, and then there's the ledger paper, and I punched out this scene out of some scrapbook paper. I think I got that scrapbook paper this year as a pad that they had at Meijer store. And I used Distress ink on tracing paper, which I had baked in the oven. Here's just a flip. And it made into a pocket. And there's some more of that paper that I told you from this collection. I just made a little tag. And then this is from a phone book. Made a little pocket. And I also took punched out some circles and made snowballs. I used gesso on these, and then some texture on by just patting it so that with a foam brush, and it left this roughness. And then I painted it with some white metallic paint and pulled off some of the stuff on a Q-tip, and I just glued it to the edges so it looks like snow coming off. Added a piece of rickrack and the word snowballs, and there you go. Okay, over here, I have a heart that I punched out, some tickets. This is nice ribbon. It's got the fuzz on it, the fur look. And this is a altered Rolodex card. It says Restful Night. I have done these very busily, and I've glued all kinds of things, but because it's for a restful night, it's just two patterns of paper. This side said there's no place like home. Back here I have a paint chip, and it says white winged dove, silver bells, metro gray, silver dollar, and sterling silver. And then I had a rub on. It says God is good. And this is from a bag. These are just some doodling. These pens are gel pens, but I just did some doodling on both sides and put a stamp. And this says every snowflake speaks of his design. And here's another tag where you can see the doodling that I did. And over here it says, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. And I punched out little snowflakes and added them up there. This is just done with some metallic paint that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I had taken book page, glued it to this backing. And then I doodled through it with gel pens. Just kind of playing around. And the same here, just use that metallic paint and punched out here, and I used some washi tape at the bottom. And this little pocket I made from a manila folder, and then I punched out, added a little tassel-y trim, and just some of the snowflakes. However, these don't have the white furry kind of look to the edges. And those can be written on the back. They're all backed with that graph design. It says winter. Here's some paper that I gave a little bolder look to lines to write on with that washi tape. And that'll fit there. And then a little more joy on the tab. And this says, like a snowflake, we are all different in our own beautiful way. I did a little bit more stamping, and this paper went through the oven after I dyed it, and then I stamped it. And then this card opens up, and I used that washi tape again, and then added paper, the paper to it, the index cards, I mean. So that folds up, and that goes in the pocket, and that flips back over. This was a masterboard that I made just using glue. And if you can see, I backed it, but it's just got glue on it. It's covered with napkin that's been, the other part has been torn off of it, like a 2-ply napkin or a 3-ply napkin, and I just covered that with a little bit of it, the white stuff that you get on a napkin. It's not printed. And then made a pocket out of the other piece and put a snowflake. And then in here, I did some more stenciling and did a triple doily. So you can write on all this too. And write on this tape. This tape I bought at a scrapbook, thrifty kind of shop. People donate their items and you sell stuff by the pound. And I got a whole roll of this tape. So it's white tape. It holds, it reinforces the page. Sometimes I use it for other things, but in this case, it's helping keep it strong. Here's the other side of the same masterboard. And then just here's a stamp on a piece of cardstock that I found. This bookmark says, Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. I put that here in memories because that's, I'm trying to memorize verses in the Bible. Here is a stamp, and I just added some trim. It's a nice big tag. And then this piece right here in the corner is from upholstery fabric collection that I found at the thrift store, and it's very plush. It feels fun to play with. And then I added a bulb pin with this little earring that I found thrifting. There was only one earring, so there it is. And then this is just some cellophane and some ribbon behind it. It just sounds a little bit like the snow, walking in the snow. And I did a special pen that my friend gave me where you get both colors down at the same time, and I made a snowflake. I thought that was pretty. And then here is a card with a couple corners punched out. It's just a regular index card. And then I got this junk mail recently, and it was perfect. And so I just put a sticker on it that said Faith. And then in the back, I put all these pieces, just random pieces of color. That was baked in the oven, this graph paper. And then there's some yarn, white soft yarn. And I stapled that ribbon. This verse is, take my yoke upon you, let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. And I put some flowers there. And then this I embossed, and I added some distress ink to kind of pull out the snowflake pattern. And that says there's stillness in the air. And here's a cute little button. It's got a little piece of metal through it because that's what it was held to the card with, and I thought that was perfect. A little more tracing paper with distress ink, and again, the ledger paper. And then here is just a pocket that I backed with this shiny blue paper. And then this verse, I have in this book a couple times. It comes up in a couple pages. Be thou on the earth, for he saith to the snow, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. Job 37:6. And this is a little bit older, I think, this ribbon, and it feels like velvet. And then the back is like that. That'd be fun to write on. And then this, when I get to the other side, this is a envelope with a couple of rhinestones glued to it, and it's a stamp. And then here is stickles glued to the parts of this scrapbook paper just to make the snowflake stand out. I mean, you can hear how hard that dried, but you got to be very patient. You can't use a hairdryer on it because it doesn't like to be hurried up. I learned a lot of things watching videos. I don't know if you guys do, but it's all new to me as of a couple years ago, so I'm learning. This is an altered paper clip. And so that's what holds that on. And I added a snowflake pin to it. In this little spot right there, it holds this little tag. And that little tucks away there. It says notes on there. And then inside are fun things to play with. There's a, or use in the journal. There's a heart. And there are buttons. All kinds of buttons. Real pretty. Buttons are beautiful. Just gorgeous. So I'll put those back in there. So these paper clips are fun. I don't know if you've done altered paper clips, but there are a lot of ways to do those. This is a time card from the Dollar Tree, and I made a pocket here, and I just took book page, and then I stenciled on it. I even got some metallic flake on there of silvery flake. They say it's silver, but you know. And then there's some cardstock that's very, very sparkly. That's a tag. And the back's just plain. I a lot of times leave things totally white because I might think of an idea to decorate it, and I want to have the space to do it like a palette for it. This is very pretty. This pocket I love. It's so unique. This is from packaging. And then I found a garland that has all these snowflakes on it. And then I took some of that paper that was embossed. This is a P for pianissimo, which means very soft. When I learned to play piano, this was something that it's printed on the sheet music. So I feel like it goes well with winter and this being out in the quiet. Here's a little sled. Yeah, sled. And then this ribbon has what I think looks like snow. And then there's a beautiful button. This is a French fry bag. This is a doily. And this looks handmade to me. This card says, "Shout for joy, Psalm 5:11." And there's a little bit of scrolly design already on the card. I did not do that myself. And then over here, I've got this bull clip holding on to a snowman and a snowflake. There he is. He's so cute. And then there's this beautiful, beautiful applique piece. Oh, this is supposed to hold him. There we go. It's got to hold it in place. Okay. And then I took seam binding, vintage seam binding I have so much of, and I just put it in my hand, wetted it, and I put a rubber band around it and set it in the window, and it dried that way. Here are some vintage buttons. Those look like snowflakes to me. Buttons by Doodah, and they say made in Japan. This is a tag and some stenciling. This verse over here says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." John 3:16. And then there's a tag. "You have my whole heart." And then this here, this always falls out. But this was a stamp, and it was on green envelope, and I just backed it again. And then I used some glitter glue that has these big chunks, and I tore off of a note that my mom's friend had sent her who used to do calligraphy, and it says love. And that's just a metal tag. This is, I painted this with acrylics, this page. And so I made another page as well and cut it for a tag, and I stamped it with a tree. And there's a tree on the ribbon. And then this is an indexer, and then there's more, you'll see more of this design back through the book, but that's from a magazine. It says February. This, I decided to sew into the middle of this book. This journal had what was potentially two journals. Okay, I was going to take this one and make it a book, and this one. But I decided to put them together. And I left space intentionally here. So it wouldn't be so, like the pages would open more. They'd have more room right here. So I have this bracelet right here. And I just left the whole thing intact. And then here are some beads that are from another bracelet that I dismantled, took apart. And this one has a little snowman. This has a snowflake. They're so cute. And so here's our little birdie. This is also like that little tag that was in the front. I took this chipboard and I added a little bit of white on there. You can write on the back. He's cute. And he just lives right in there. This is some what's called hero paste. And then this is like his food. And then I put Snowbird on here. And on the back there are some stars. And then this is Beautiful Songs. And I cut this out, tore this out. Actually, what did I do? Cut it. Yes, it's got little scallopy, fancy scissors, I call them. His eye is on the sparrow is the name of the song. I sing because I am happy. I sing because I'm free. For his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Amen. I get reading, guys, and I go too fast, and I mess it up. Okay, here's some snowballs for you. And then here's that verse again. He saith to the snow, be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. Job 37:6. Here's some really pretty ribbon. Feels like the snow is right there. And then, you know, in the spring, we end up with, there'll be grass popping up, and there'll be bulbs or whatever, and there'll be leaves coming onto the tree. So we can always count on that. That's our hope. And so here's a multiplication card, some tickets in green, and some ribbon in a banner style, and some buttons. And then I put this on the back of this dyed index card. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, thou art laid down, no feller is coming against us. Isaiah 14:7. I love that. Because it's like, even, you know, if you don't have snow, people go through periods where they feel the wintry, I don't know, the darkness. That we go through seasons in our lives, and it's great to have hope and to know spring is coming, whether it be actual weather or be just things are always get better. It's how we look at things. So these are just little tags, and I just found old ways to use them. And here, this says receive. This is a tea bag that I stamped on. I had dyed the tea bag outside with the sun during the hot weather last year and saved it. And then I just cut a strip and stamped it. Because, you know, the good things can come, but if we don't receive them, they're just right there, but we don't go get them. So we have to be better. Saved by grace. And here's a couple of note cards. This is something I baked in the oven. That turned out really nice. I like how everything blurred. There's some more of that fuzzy ribbon. And then I just gathered up some strips of papers in the scrap pile and just put those together. This was actually from clothing that I had, and I like that ribbon. So a double ribbon helps to hang things. And then this is a writing board. This is from, I showed you different samples of this. This is from a magazine, and I have pieces of this all throughout. I wanted a large sample of this tree, so a writing board was perfect. And this is the other side. So I can put this behind where I want to write, or I can lay this tag on there, and it's a good surface for writing. And then I have these little glittery, chunky little embellishments. Here's a snowflake, and there's a little bead. This is from the master board, and it says, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. And both of these cards come out, and they're from a dictionary page, and they refer to words that have snow, like snow, snowball, snowbank. Over here, you've got the snowfall, snowflake, snow ice, you know, a snowplow, that kind of thing. And a pretty illustration of snowflakes. This is a napkin. I didn't show you that on the other page. Can you see the sparkles in it? I used that glue, that Elmer's glue that it's blue, and it had little pieces of sparkle in it. I'm not sure, but I think people use it to make slime and things like that. But that's what that is. And because February, we just have Valentine's Day, I added a little compatible color though, but I added a heart. And this here is just a tag, flips out. This is from the cellophane bags that you decorate or put chocolate onto a pretzel, and then it's a thin, narrow bag. Well, this one happened to have snowflakes on it, so I saved that. Here is a postcard. This reminds me of the idea I'm trying to have, is to say there's the woods and there's a little church and there's a home, and then they have another house, and there's the barn. There's birds eating, and you know, they're looking for seed. Actually looks like they're tapping for syrup or something. And then I just cut this out of scrapbook paper that I printed in the digital, or a digital paper. And then this is to show you, I made this masterboard on a silicone mat. So that's how smooth it is on the back, and it's amazing. It's seamless. It's just so nice. But on the front, this top coat is when you separate your napkins, and then use that little white piece on the top. And I added glue. Here's another snowflake, and here's icicles, and then a couple of scriptures. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, Psalm 100, for in him I live, Acts 17:28. Those are to and from tags. Then there's another tag here that I decorated with a gel pen on the back. And I put some mittens up at the top on the ball pin. Do you see those? And then this is a valance, or this was one whole curtain valance. And this is the price tag that was hanging on it at the thrift store. So I attached that. And then this is the corner of a, it's getting kind of dark in here. There's a corner of a piece of 12 by 12 paper. This I cut from, it was a collection of scrapbook paper, and they had all different things with sayings and that. So I used that, and this could potentially be a book. Here is a piece of music, the sleigh. And so it's really cute. So that goes in there. And then that goes back. Here's the back of these to show you how you peel these off and stick them. And it says to from. And then that goes back in there. Here's this icicle idea again. And there's a couple of tags here. These are from Martha Stewart labels. I just glued those on there. This says hot chocolate. And this one says marshmallows. And then the paper here is really fun. I would put tea in these cups, but. And then there's a snowman, and then there's a guest check that I just decorated a little bit with other papers that are in this collection. Brr, it's cold, it says in the ribbon. And then here's a flip up, and this card says Snowflake Diner, reindeer welcome. We see deer all the time. I actually hit one in this neighborhood, so it's all good. This is fabric. I stamped snow and added a little snowflake at the top. And this is so pretty. And it says peace on earth. And I backed it with that interesting index card. It's very cool. They have all different colors. Then this is ribbon. Here's a picture of, it was in a magazine, of course, and it shows you someone's window. And this is for writing. I could use a gel pen and silver or something on the back. This is from the magazine. It's a Sunset magazine, or Ideal. But I found many pages in there. I still have a whole lot of them left. This says, purge me with hyssop and I shall be clean. Wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. Psalm 51:7. Here's another one of the to from tags. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Proverbs 3:5. And that says whiter than snow. Here's a subtraction card. This little card is cute. I used a stamp with many different colors of greens and blues and put that little ribbon there, and then added some decoration. There's another part of an old decoration, some lace. It says quiet. And then here's a tag. And then here is, I have a pad of paper that is full of different colors of corrugated, I don't know, I guess you'd call it scrapbook paper, but it's not really cardboard. So, but it's nice and it's got a smooth surface to it. There's a tag. And then here you can I glued that to the back. So if it's smooth like this, it's very nice on the back. It's not rough on both sides. And here's a little tag I made. Detached eyelets, that's some ephemera from a magazine. And then over here, I've got some pearls, more of that valance. And this tag says, the woods are blanketed in white. Winter, snow falling, ice skating, holiday sounds. The other side has lines, and that's scrapbook paper that had the printed dots. That was good. This is just from a CD sleeve. I've got little snow balls that I cut out. And this is inside the circle. That's from inside of a doily, I mean. I cut it out and layered it. So if you want to, you can take these snowflakes out. See? That was really just so beautiful. I thought, what could I do with it? So they're in there. They are ready to play with. I don't know, I think a journal needs to be interactive. So this came out of here, has a little pocket, more of that image. January, because our snow started in January, and then this is a dyed, Kool-Aid dyed card. Here's a little fun large tag. And I got a little pin here, isn't that cute? He's got a couple things hanging, a little stocking, a little snowflake. He's even missing some rhinestones. But when you're doing this kind of thing, you don't care, you know, because you're rescuing jewelry that would, you know, nobody would want to wear it without the rhinestones. And then here is flannel, and I love this trim. This paper's great, and this has more of that red wintry ribbon. And this is just from the paint section at Lowe's. This is warm and cozy, it says. Another tag, some stenographer's paper, flips out here to have lines to write on. And I made this with a glue stick that is blue glitter. And I had the metal stamp to make the embossing of a snowflake. And then I add these stickers too. That was fun to do, real easy. And then here's a card that says Rejoice, another tag, and I used two of them together with a brad that is a star. And I inked the backs. And then there's another pocket here. And there's pockets all over this book. Here's another tag that I just doodled with a gel pen. And then that's the other side of the napkin. It was just a tag. And some things I left blank because I'm still decorating, believe it or not. That's embossing with snowflakes. This says, in his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope. You know, hope for the spring. See, we got the green. That's 1 Peter 1:3. Here's a beautiful tree. It says, in silken silence, peace settles over God's world, a gentle splendor. Getting to the end. Here's more of the tea bag. Says, yes, Lord. I had dyed these with tea and put those in the oven. And that's why they're all crunchy. It says snowflakes. This opens up. And I just decorated this with a piece of paper and some more of that snowy looking stuff. And then right here, I have a little book. I don't know, I just played around with it and put some little tags. There's a little hot chocolate. And there's more. That's cute. And the last page, this is a muffin liner and it says love. And this trim came from I guess it was a sample page, and it had many different colors of this across, and it's for costuming or something. And so I took off one of the strands, and it had these colors, And I added, can you see the hearts? Because it's love. And then this is from some of the lace that's in this book that I used in this journal. This is vintage stuff. This Wrights is located in West Warren, Massachusetts. And then it says how to take care of it. 1986 is the date. And this verse here is, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28-29. And then over here is the index card again. And this is just the painting that I did on Bookpage. And then we turn it to here. That's more I used a little bit of glittery stuff there. But this is the end. Here's the other seam binding that I used. Guaranteed Color Fast Light Blue, number 308. Does your child sew? Send 3 labels and 25 cents to cover postage and handling for a generous package of clippings of Wrights trims suitable for trimming dolls' clothes. And just include your zip code. That's hilarious. There it is. Isn't that cute? That's what's fun about collecting things. I mean, it's just so fun. That's 1969. Here's the last tag. It's of this fur covered in snow. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching. I know I really love making these journals. They take a lot of time, but also they're worth it. They're just usable, and yet they're art, you know. And you can scripture as you're studying your Bible, or if you just want to record your thoughts about your life. And so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're encouraged to make your own. Thanks for watching.